Hello, beautiful people. My name is Athol. Let's jump into it. And the video I started shooting was basically an announcement that, I'm starting work on this new online course thing. I got 22 episodes scripted out. I'm going to go through this process of making it, basically doing it in front of you, being as transparent as I can. And hopefully it's done by the end of March and all this sort of stuff. So, it's going to be my thing. I'm going to produce all these videos, produce the course, produce the PDFs, and you get to see that process and some of the material as we go through. And then I had an email today that just really totally underlines why the stuff that I'm going to teach is just so important. Because it's the situation where it really has just bogged down into, even just saying it's a sexist marriage is not clear enough. There was a situation where there was a 2-year affair that was all very dramatic and bad and deep and all the standard things that go with affairs, and then it's sort of aftermath of that. So it's about 2 years of it just being sexless, and it's just that situation where one person is completely done. They have no interest in their partner. They do not care at all. They do not love them. They do not want them. They don't want to spend time with them. They don't want to talk to them. They don't want to be physically affectionate. And they sure as heck do not want to have sex with them. And all the time and attention they have to give to their partner, they just want to minimize because they just don't want them. But on the other hand, on paper, the marriage is good. There's houses, there's a house and there's cars and there's income and there's a family and history and shared photo albums, and there's plenty of benefits for staying in the marriage. The logistics are good. So it's a thing where they just do not want their partner. They're totally checked out, but the benefits of the marriage are still there, so they stay there. Meanwhile, the person who's interested just does backflips, endlessly orbits, just begs and pleads for any kinds of scraps of attention, any hint that their partner may be interested, and it just never comes. And it just won't come. Because that person is just checked out. They're just done. And I've never seen a situation, and I've been doing this a while now, I've never seen a situation where someone has been totally checked out, where they become magically checked in and the relationship gets significantly better. All that seems to happen is this endless cycle of the person who's more interested slowly getting more and more frustrated, acting out a little bit more, being more upset, being complaining and demanding and pleading, and then the less interested partner sort of drip feeds them some love, sex, and affection. The more interested partner sort of gets pacified and calms down. It's peaceful for a bit, and then and then it goes back to how it was, and then slowly the frustration mounts in the more interested partner, and it just cycles around and around and around, and it will just keep doing that forever. It'll do that forever until one person, one partner, or both partners finally just throw their hands up in the air and say, I can't take this anymore. I want to be divorced, or I'm never going to get what I want from this relationship. I'm going to stay in the marriage but get what I want outside the relationship. We're going to open the marriage. I'm going to cheat on them, whatever it is. But it never gets better. It just stays bad. And there are plenty of relationships that are like this where if they had just had the information they needed 3 years earlier, 4 years earlier, 5 years earlier, where they could have figured out what it was that attracted each other, what it was that made each other comfortable, when they were both motivated still, when they were both interested in each other. If there was, literally an ounce of prevention, none of this bad stuff would have necessarily happened. It may not be the greatest relationship. They might be kind of okay sort of with it, but at least there would still be some degree of love, some degree of affection, and the worst, and certainly sex, and the worst things would never have happened. And they would be, happy enough with each other. The family would be intact. The kids would be happy. They wouldn't have to get divorced. And it would be basically acceptably good. And that's truly why I need to make this course, because I just realize more and more I'm just coming across people. People are finding me too late too often. Like it is already a catastrophe. It's already burnt to the ground. How do I fix this? And it may be the case of, Humpty Dumpty fell off the wall and there's just no fixing it at this point. So it's so important that people get to learn about what actually truly attracts each other, what actually truly makes each other happy and comfortable and relaxed. I mean, if you've chosen someone, if you're both basically normal, basically healthy people, um, basically responsible, moral people, there's no reason why your marriage can't last forever and be perfectly happy and perfectly content with a really good sex life and happy family for the rest of your life. If you're both basically normal, healthy people, there's no reason why that shouldn't work. And if all you need is a little bit of information to keep the wheels turning, keep the spark of attraction there, keep the comfort building there, there's no reason why it couldn't go on forever as a really happy relationship. But if you don't have that information, it can slowly run down, and then the worst things happen. And I'm just tired. I'm just tired of trying to put out fires. I'm tired of putting on the fireman's hat and running around and trying to put out the burning buildings of relationships. I would rather be the fire marshal now, going around saying, well, you do this and you do that, you can't do this, these are the safety things you need, in order to stop things just falling apart and burning to the ground. So that's what this coming video series is about, is how do you keep that spark of attraction there? How do you stop it all from slowly sliding down while there's still time, while both people are still interested and positively motivated, and the truly relationship breaking bad things haven't even happened yet. It's so much easier to correct a relationship that's just gone a little off course, that's just sort of slowly started to drift down a little bit, and get them back on track and going in the right direction, than waiting until it's been sexless for 5 years, waiting until there's been a long-term affair, waiting until they've already separated. It's so much harder to correct that. It's like watching a motor racing event where the car is already slammed into the wall, and the driver's saying, how do I correct this? How do I fix it? It's like, bring it into the garage, we're done. Whereas coming a few laps earlier, let's put new tires on, so much simpler, better. So that's what I'm working on. How do you keep that spark of attraction going? How do you keep it still good and not get to the place the bad things happen? Anyway, I'm rambling a little bit. I just got really upset with that email, and it just really became, this is why I have to do what I do. And I'm sure there are going to be people that complain. I know there are going to be some people that complain and bitching, are going to bitch at me that the stuff that I'm going to put out is too soft. It's too nice. It's too gentle. Because that's all you need when it is still basically pretty good, and we need to tweak a few things, as opposed to this is a disaster and we need to muscle our way in and put people in a headlock and make them do something. It doesn't have to be rough when it is still pretty good. So that's my rant for the day. I'm starting work on the series. Like I say, it's going to be about 22 episodes. If I can crunch out one episode a day, which is a lot, it'll be good by the end of March. So that's my goal for the moment. Anyway, I will talk to you soon.